songs, let me tell you about a friend. It's Craig LeBlanc where the good times never end. Talking Parks and Rec, it's a show you gotta know. Welcome one and all to the Daily Parks and Rec Show. It's the Daily Parks and Rec Show.
It's not just the park. It's not just the rec center. It's not just the director who is playing their really critical role. It is a holistic system that depends on park and rec professionals. It depends on engaged community. It depends on elected leadership. It depends on private sector support. It has to operate. They work best when they are operating in harmony, and Parks and Recreation can't be isolated. We can't just thrive if we're not really engaging fully in partnership.
Welcome back to the Daily Parks and Rec Show from the 2025 LRPA convention. In this episode, we sit down with Kristine Stratton to talk about why Parks and Recreation isn't just a service. It's an essential system for healthier, safer, and more connected communities. From national advocacy to inspiring the next generation of professionals, this conversation is all about pride, impact, and the power of parks to change lives. This is Parks and Rec, where purpose meets people. Let's dive in.
Oh yeah,
Are you taping?
Yeah, we're always live.
Oh, you are live. Oh, okay.
We're live on LinkedIn, X, Facebook, YouTube, I think on Instagram. The interns are all about Instagram and TikTok, so they're helping us do that. But welcome back. We're Craig LeBlanc, the Daily Parks and Rec Show. We're here live from the 80th anniversary of LRPA. And me and Kristine Stratton have been trying to get together but you were right in the middle of the chaos of Orlando, so I know that was going to be impossible. But how's the convention going so far for you?
Oh my gosh, this has been fantastic. I visited with the LRPA board previously on a trip to Baton Rouge and had an opportunity to chat with LRPA leadership about this conference and their opportunities and needs and challenges and how NRPA can better serve LRPA and their constituencies. So it's been so amazing to actually come and be here in person to learn and exchange ideas. We had a leadership roundtable conversation this morning that was honestly one of the best I've participated in. I love the heart and spirit and fellowship that's evident here in Louisiana. So this has been fantastic.
Yeah, great to have you here. So I noticed you're kind of making a nationwide tour of all the different associations. How many have you made so far since you started, or since last year?
Oh yeah, that's such a good question. It's amazing how many more I still have to go.
I know you're going to just live in a hotel room and an airplane.
We try to, our mission is quality of life for all people, right?
Yeah.
That's NRPA's mission. It was named in 1965 when we were founded, and I try to walk the talk. So I am not the road warrior you might think that I
will be by the end
am.
of this.
I am. In
not.
fact, I was meant to visit with the folks at the joint North Carolina, South Carolina conference the week after next. And I've had a couple air travel debacles in recent weeks. And so I didn't have as big a role in that conference. So I opted not to, opted to change my plans. And so this Louisiana one will be my last for 2025.
Oh. So what's your general message you're bringing to the associations?
Oh, gosh. Well, first and foremost, really leaning into NRPA's role as the voice for Parks and Recreation nationally. So really wanting to make sure we understand the challenges on the ground and that we're representing those accurately in our advocacy and in the tools and resources that we produce in our professional development offerings. So that voice for role is a really important one. that we take incredibly seriously.
Yeah.
Secondly, we identify as the backbone organization for this profession. And so again, as we look to transformative change, really leveraging the essential power of Parks and Recreation as a systems change tool. How do we think more holistically about the programs and partnerships that we're offering, and how do we make sure that that backbone is really, really strong?
Yeah.
So conventions like this one, all the state association conferences are a way of strengthening that backbone, right?
Yeah.
Really creating that connective tissue. And I'm going to just belabor this,
Yes.
this physiology metaphor, but really trying to make sure that we're staying connected, we're exchanging ideas, we're learning from each other, and that we're not alone.
Yeah.
That's one of the important messages is we've got your back at NRPA, LRPA for the folks in Louisiana. They've got your back. Your state association is there for you, and NRPA is here for you too.
Yeah. And shout out to Gabby Vera and Molly Keys. I don't know if you've run into them, but they brought me into the Young Professionals Network and inspired us to create a weekly show for the young professionals. And recently, y'all reached out to us to kind of coordinate because we've got a really talented group of college interns that are helping us with that. But
Okay.
What's your message to kind of the young professionals, the next generation coming into the Parks and Rec community, or maybe even college students don't even realize this is a career path?
Yeah, it's so amazing. I love the videos, this as a choice career.
Yeah.
The work that PRPS, Tim Hurd did in partnership with the Academy and with NRPA support to produce a career promotional video, and the work that you've done, Craig, to amplify that with your own career videos, really promoting this profession as literally a choice career.
Yes.
I think that for a lot of folks that are what I've learned in talking with people is most of the folks that are working in Parks and Recreation came to the field accidentally. They didn't go to school for Parks and Rec, although that is an amazing choice. And the folks that have and do are really rewarded. But the folks who find Parks and Rec accidentally, I think what they learn is that it is perhaps one of the most purpose-driven careers
Absolutely
you can have. So if you want meaning in your life, if you want connection in your life, if you want to be of service, if you want to live into your values and really create change, lasting change, this is the field to be in. So for the young folks that are engaged or curious or who are taking summer jobs in Parks and Rec, whether you choose to stay in the field or to leverage those skills in another profession, what you're doing is building your own character, building your portfolio of skills that will serve you for years and years to come.
After just in 2025, we've interviewed over 1,000 Parks and Rec professionals and directors. And when we asked that, what is your why? And you know what I've discovered? That other industries, you have to retire before you start making a difference and leaving a legacy. At 20 years old, you can start making a difference in your community, leaving a legacy. And I think that's just not a message put out there to young professionals that you get meaning on day one.
I am proof of that,
Yep.
Craig. I'm absolutely, I just was in my hometown checking in on my mom, and I went over to the playground that was the game changer for me. I visited, it was literally a 3-walled cinder block building and a picnic table out front, and we would do crafts in the summertime in the playground. It was the programs in the playground. And when I was a kid, I would ride my bike over. And so I had a safe route to the park, plug for that. And the kid, literally the kid this was her summer job, doing the programs in the playground. That was my first connection to a caring mentor figure. That was my first connection to having a safe space in the summertime. Home was not always the most enjoyable place to be for me. So to have a safe base to go to have a caring person give me something to do and help me start to learn how to build social skills, working with other people. That changed my life. I will testify.
Wow.
So yeah, you can make a huge difference.
Yeah.
Huge difference. Because I'm here to prove it.
Yeah. Now, one of the things we did after interviewing all these people, and one of our very talented video editors, we have like 6 of them, I think, work full time just on the video editing side. And I think Chris was so immersed, probably his 200th episode. I was like, you understand the spirit of this industry so well. Can you help us to design a commercial as a gift to the industry as why Parks and Rec should be considered an essential service? So I'd like to play that for you and then get your feedback on it.
Do it.
All right.
When we talk about essential services, what comes to mind? Police, firefighters, healthcare. But there's another essential service, often overlooked, yet always present. Parks and recreation. Parks and Rec is health. It's the walking trail that lowers blood pressure, the recreation center where seniors fight isolation, the swim lessons that prevent tragedy before it happens. This isn't a luxury, it's a lifeline. Parks and Rec is safety. A playground instead of a street corner, a basketball court instead of trouble, a summer camp where every child belongs. It's not just about activity, it's about protection, prevention, and possibility. Parks and Rec is community, the festival that brings neighbors together, the cultural event that teaches respect and diversity, the open space where a city breathes. It builds bridges where division once stood. It gives people a reason to gather, to connect, to care. And Parks and Rec is economics. It strengthens property values. It drives tourism through events and trails. It saves on healthcare costs. Every dollar invested multiplies, feeding back into schools, into safety, into growth. Essential service is not just about survival, it's about thriving. And Parks and Recreation is where thriving begins. In wellness, in equity, in culture, and in joy. Parks and Rec isn't extra, it's essential. For our health, for our safety, for our communities, for our future. A message from the Parks and Recreation community.
What are your thoughts?
I mean, you covered the proverbial waterfront.
Yeah.
Yesterday when we kicked off the general session, we heard from the mayor and we heard from the head of the fire department, and they both were testifying to the essential, critical importance of Parks and Recreation and what we do. Everything in there. I quoted yesterday the Trust for Public Land calculated a figure that for every dollar invested in parks can return up to $4 in health, economic, and environmental benefits. So that's a huge return on investment. That is a real tangible thing that we can continue to lift up and talk about. I think we often are unsung heroes within our communities, and what we're trying to do with NRPA, what you're trying to do with the show, with the video, is create some confidence in our field to be prideful. That's something that we don't often do. We like to kind of be the quiet, unsung heroes in the community conversation, but I think we need to be prideful and we need to talk about the difference that we make, because Parks and Rec programs are what reduces the need for police intervention.
Right. And if you look at the community similar to a human body, if you neglect your body and you don't work out and you don't feed it right, you better up your health insurance, maybe even your life insurance. You're going to end up paying the price.
Right.
And Parks and Rec is that preventative maintenance where you have a healthy, thriving community and you're not in survival mode where the police and healthcare parts of our community are overburdened by a neglected, unhealthy community.
Yeah,
And Parks and Rec is that. They're the preventative side of our
absolutely.
communities.
Yeah. We've been it's fun to be here in Louisiana and to think about upstream versus downstream solutions, right?
Especially on the side of this river.
You know it. You know it. And what we're trying to do with NRPA is to really lift up those stories of lasting systems change. So those partnerships between Parks and Rec and school systems that really create that solid connection between school time and out of school time programs so that kids aren't lost in the mix. What are those upstream solutions that exist between Parks and Rec and the police department that can really create positive solutions for the whole community? What are the upstream environmental solutions that leverage parks and green space for stormwater management, green infrastructure? There's so many dimensions, and you spoke to them in the video. So many dimensions to what Parks and Rec offers in terms of community health and vitality. And you said the word in there, joy. We undervalue the power that experiencing, sharing, and promoting joy can have in overall individual and community level health. So I love that.
Yeah. And then the impact joy has, just personal joy has on your just immune system and your health. I mean, a happy body is a healthy body.
Absolutely.
And Parks and Rec is where that happens on a mass scale. You know, when I see this AI world coming in, I actually see Parks and Rec benefiting from this world of abundance coming because it's the experiential side of our community.
Absolutely.
Where you could get out and walk in a park and stuff. So I see Parks and Rec just thriving over the next decade.
Agree. Becoming even more essential, and frankly, offering a career path that is less under threat from AI, for instance. When I look at books like The Anxious Generation or Glow Kids that show,
I've never heard of that. Glow Kids.
Oh, it's worth checking out, Craig.
Yeah.
It's basically, the title is meant to signify,
the blue light constantly on your face, kind of like we're doing now.
We're Glow Kids.
Yeah.
But you know what? We're in conversation.
That's right.
So
That's right.
yeah, it's good.
All right. So what's your closing message for Parks and Rec across America? What's the vision you see for us in the next 5 or 10 years?
Just continuing to step into the essential role that we play, continuing to step in with confidence and pride in that essential role, continuing to tell our story, continuing to advocate for the durable funding that will provide the kinds of programs and well-managed spaces that will serve communities best. I think the other thing I would say is we look at parks and recreation as systems, meaning it's not just the park, it's not just the rec center, it's not just the director who is playing their really critical role. It is a holistic system that depends on park and rec professionals. It depends on engaged community. It depends on elected leadership. It depends on private sector support. It has to operate, talk about the metaphor of the human body. You also can think about the metaphor of healthy ecosystems. They work best when they are operating in harmony, and parks and recreation can't be isolated, right? We can't just thrive on, say, a general fund allocation. We can't just thrive if we're not really engaging fully in partnership with the other parts of the community and the other elements that make community work. So I would say keep leaning into partnerships, even though they're hard and they're a lot of work. Don't give up. Don't give up.
Well, Kristine, thank you so much for your leadership.
Thank you.
You have
Craig.
a whole army behind you across this country.
I'm behind the Army. We are in
But
it.
you're leading from the front line.
Well,
You're not one of these leaders that says go do. You're in the front line. I appreciate that.
Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate you telling the stories. I appreciate you giving space to people to share theirs. I'm a big fan of the folks that you've had on, and it's been really fun to hear their stories and their voices. So thanks for just keeping with the grind and getting it done, Craig.
Well, it's easy. All you have to do is press record, and the magic happens when you just tell your story.
I love that.
Yeah, but appreciate it and have a great rest of your convention.
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Are you ready to lead the next generation of Parks and Rec? Whether you're a student, intern, or rising leader, welcome to the Young Professionals Network by DPRS Media Co. Our mission? To empower early career professionals in parks and recreation through mentorship, visibility, and real-world leadership development. Our vision? A national network of passionate, prepared, and purpose-driven leaders who shape the future of public service. Starting now. Powered by the Daily Parks and Rec Show, YPN gives you access to exclusive interviews, career-building resources, behind-the-scenes content, and live events, all created by and for the next wave of Parks and Rec professionals. Learn from seasoned directors, build your brand, get involved with national conversations that matter. Whether you're in youth sports, facilities, programming, or policy, YPN is your launchpad. Young Professionals Network, your career, your community, your story.